Hello again. Today is Friday, August the 7th, 2015. My God, I can't believe it's Friday already. Happy Friday to everyone and good evening. Uh, haven't seen anybody in a long time. Hope everybody's doing okay. And thank you for listening and tuning in. I want to talk about a recent death in the World Wrestling Entertainment Wrestling. And that is Mr. Roddy Piper. My thoughts and prayers go out to his family, to his daughter, and to all his loved ones and friends, and to the WWE family and WWE Nation. Very saddened and deeply troubled by his passing. Wanted to talk about his passing and touch also a little bit on Dusty Rhodes' passing here not too long ago as well. I'm troubled by both men's passing. I'm troubled by Dusty Rhodes' passing because here we have a man who is nearly 70 some years old, not all that good of health, is in his home by himself in Florida, and he's changing a light bulb supposedly at the top of his stairs, and he climbs up a ladder, and I guess terrazzo floor type situation on the stairs. Apparently is a nice home in Florida, and he deserves a nice home, as any professional wrestler does who's given their body in the way that they have for professional sports. Forgive me, for professional sports such as professional wrestling. Very nice home. Changing a light bulb, and slips and falls off the ladder. The ladder falls, he falls, and he breaks his neck at the bottom of the steps, and he's dead. Roddy Piper, for all intents and purposes, a whole lot healthier man, although you'd probably get odds on it from him. Working right up until the point of his death. Was scheduled to do a public appearance on some sort of online radio show the very next day that he died, on July 31st of this year. Goes to bed, prepared to get up and go to work the next day and do whatever the next day, and he goes to sleep and don't wake up again. Collapses dead or dies from a heart attack supposedly in his sleep. And yeah, that's the way to go if you're going to go. I mean, peacefully, quietly in your sleep, you go to bed, you just don't wake up no more. But I'm troubled because both men represented for me, as a wrestling fan who grew up in the late 70s and 80s and 90s, looking at these guys, idolizing these guys, watching these guys perform, and entertaining not only myself but millions of fans around the world, and they just suddenly end up dead. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, it was their time, and yeah, it probably was their time. Once it's your time, it's your time. There's nothing you can do about it. But here's the thing. Both men had enemies. In particular, Rowdy Piper. Rowdy Piper was an outspoken individual, both in the ring and out of the ring. Very outspoken individual. And he had a lot of enemies. And I am hoping and I am praying to God Almighty and His Son Jesus Christ that before they lay him to rest, if they haven't already, that his family will do an autopsy on his body. Autopsy him from head to toe, inside and out, and find out for sure whether or not he met with foul play, some kind of way. I know the conspiracy theories surrounding the death of Chris Benoit, and everybody and his brother said it was Kevin Sullivan that did it, and that's fine. I've got those conspiracy theories myself. I believe in that. But here Roddy Piper is. He goes to bed, like I said, getting ready to get up to go to work the next day, and he don't wake up. Seems kind of strange to me. Because for all intents and purposes, he was a relatively healthy man, a whole lot healthier than Dusty Rhodes, I can tell you that. And, you know, it just seems troubling to me. And then, what in the world is Dusty Rhodes, a 70-some-year-old man, doing in his home by himself at the top of a ladder changing a light bulb? Where is the help? Where is the aid and attendant? And this is the problem that I have, bless his soul, with Vince McMahon and his family in World Wrestling Entertainment, is that he don't take care of these wrestlers that have put money in his pocket long after they're no longer in wrestling ring. I look at guys like the Dynamite Kid, who is still alive and well to this day. Well, I don't know about well. He can barely walk. And he's living on a fixed income somewhere in England. Why hasn't Vince McMahon reached out to somebody like the Dynamite Kid and said, you know what? I'm going to pay your medical bills. I'm going to help you out. It's not like he can't afford it. Vince McMahon should do that. These guys, Roddy Piper, Dusty Rhodes, you know, fine, you got whatever personal beefs. Vince McMahon, he takes things too personal for me. These guys are out here, they're trying to make a buck. They're still trying to make a buck. There's no unionization in wrestling. There's no health benefits in wrestling. It's you work from one show to the next show to the next show to the next show, and maybe in between you do some pay-per-views and you get a big gate, or portion of the gate, whatever the gate may be, whatever the promoter decides or the booker decides. These guys have earned and deserve not only our pride and our respect and our admiration, but our love and our loyalty, and at the very least, their employer, or former employer, if you will, since they're retired, former employers' love and loyalty and respect and admiration. It's not like Vince McMahon couldn't afford to, you know, start a retirement trust fund for these guys, let's say. You don't have to pay them Social Security disability benefits, but the least he could do is start a retirement fund for them. Especially people like the Dynamite Kid, who are living on a fixed income. And yeah, it's good. I mean, the country of England, you know, is taking care of him. He gets free health care, etc. over there, and that's nice. But the Dynamite Kid deserves more. Roddy Piper deserved more. Dusty Rhodes deserved more. And yeah, you know, they were employed by the WWE backstage and doing, you know, writing and booking and promoting, etc. Dusty Rhodes was traveling around looking up talent, etc. for Vince McMahon, and he was working behind the scenes of Raw, etc. And that's good and great and wonderful. You get a paycheck, but it's still not enough, because here a 70-some-year-old man is changing a light bulb, and he slips and falls off a ladder and breaks his neck. That's no way to go. And then Roddy Piper, he goes to bed and he just don't wake up. That's no way to go. These guys deserve more. They deserve better. So, you know, I'm challenging, and I think everybody else within the sound of my voice needs to challenge Vince McMahon and World Wrestling Entertainment, Inc. openly to start a retirement trust fund for these guys, especially these ones that are still alive and in fairly decent health. I look at people like Jake the Snake Roberts, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, you know, the usual quote-unquote suspects. These guys put their bodies on the line for Vince McMahon. I mean, yeah, they got a spot and a little plaque in the WWE Hall of Fame, and that's nice and great and wonderful. They deserve it. But they deserve more. And I think we as professional wrestling fans need to impress upon the last great owner of professional wrestling, if you will, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, to start a trust fund for these good and well-retired wrestlers who have sacrificed so much and are really still to this day sacrificing. I mean, they do the independent circuit, whatever, the little public appearances. Jake Roberts said in his induction WWE Hall of Fame induction speech that if called upon, he would walk out there and DDT somebody for, I don't know, whatever the gate is, $1,500, $2,000. You know, that's nice, but $1,500, $2,000 only pays so much. It only gets you so far. I mean, you spend half of that on a plane ticket somewhere, especially somewhere around the world. It's not enough. It's not near enough. So I think there needs to be a retirement fund, a trust fund, whatever you want to call it, established for these guys. And so I'm going to press upon us as professional wrestling fans to establish a trust fund, to impress upon Vince McMahon to establish a trust fund for these retired wrestlers so that they can dip in for expenses, medication, whatever it is that they might need. And I know I'll get the ones, oh, you want to pay for their steroids, oh, you want to pay for their marijuana, oh, you want to pay for their cocaine use. Jake the Snake Roberts has been clean for, I'm guessing, over 10 years. Scott Hall has been clean for over 10 years. They swear up and down they don't drink, they don't do any drugs. Diamond Dallas Page saved their life. If it hadn't been for Diamond Dallas Page's intervention, they wouldn't be here. So, you know, this idea, this notion, oh, you want to pay for, you know, Hulk Hogan's racist rants. No, I don't want to pay for that. Hulk Hogan is probably one of the least individuals that needs any money. I mean, when he opens his mouth, he makes money. He's really like the modern day equivalent to Floyd Money Mayweather. Floyd Money Mayweather makes money in boxing just by showing up, as evidenced by his last bout with Manny Pacquiao. My God, I mean, he made almost $300 million in 30 seconds. I mean, it's crazy. So it's not like Hulk Hogan needs any money, but certainly somebody like Jake the Snake, Jimmy Snuka, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, David Fit Finlay, you know, those guys, they deserve something. They deserve something, and they have earned something. Even if it's just a little something just to help them along. They still deserve it. So I'm impressing upon professional wrestling fans to reach out to Vince McMahon and to World Wrestling Entertainment and to get them to establish a trust fund for these retired wrestlers, because they deserve it. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.